Anyone that wears all black, always trouble.
Really?
It represents the soul, right? It's like the soul crying out the shadow side. What's up, guys? So, you horny fuckers have a fetish for me approaching Polish women. Here's another clip, this time in a shopping mall in Łódź, a city in Poland. Bit of a hidden gem. Recommend it if you want to explore other places other than Krakow, other than Warsaw. So let's watch the clip, me approaching a very attractive girl in the mall, and we'll break down some of the key points.
Oh, please, I'm so tired.
Like a lion mane.
Yeah.
Oh, your English is really good.
Because I lived in the UK for a while with my parents.
From London? In London?
Yeah, near London.
Okay, James from London.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. I'm used to struggling with a few words, and you're fluent.
A lot of people actually are.
Yeah, but my first time back in Łódź in 1 year, and I prefer this to Warsaw.
Really?
I think the people in Warsaw are a bit more, capital city, they're a bit more serious. Łódź, it's more chill. And this long street is amazing for people watching, Just sitting there and you're seeing these strange people and eating pierogi. You hate the city. Why are you still here? You seem like a woman who takes responsibility for their life.
Long story.
Okay. Are you is it super serious? Are you physically tied in? Have you got a warrant out for your arrest? Are you stuck? You look like the type who might. You look like trouble. Anyone that wears all black, always trouble.
Really?
It represents the soul, right? It's like the soul crying out the shadow side. And what are you doing in life? Are you working, studying?
Working, and will be studying in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're
$22.
Oh, you look great. You seem a lot more mature though. You look young, but you seem
Sometimes I feel 40 or something.
like a babushka.
Yeah.
You say babushka in Poland?
No, I say babta.
Babta.
Babta, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm with friends now, but another time, I'd love to take you out for a drink.
Sure.
Yeah, WhatsApp or?
Yeah.
Okay. You're surprising. This is also surprising because you actually have WhatsApp. I noticed in Poland.
Yeah, it's not that. No,
no one has WhatsApp.
No, yeah.
So why? Why do they not have?
It's not that popular. So I think now they just use Instagram and.
What's one thing you'd like to know about me?
Yeah, what are you doing here?
In Poland?
Yeah, and what?
I travel full time, so I've been traveling. I used to be a lawyer, and I quit my job. I just traveled for 6 years. I set up some business online. Yeah, because you realise, I'm 36, and you realise you never get the time back, and it's so easy just to get caught up and watch what other people do and do fuck all with your life, and then you're suddenly I'm not going to do right. And usually when you go with the sheep mentality, it's the wrong mentality, I think. But I live a strange life.
Okay.
48?
Yeah.
Nice one.
There you go.
Nice to meet you.
Same.
Okay, so the first thing to note is a number of guys will have noticed some of these approaches you're seeing are slightly shorter than the kind of London day game model prescribed 5 to 7 minutes. I'm experimenting more with high volume and faster approaches, so generating attraction fast, testing for interest, as Robert Glover would say. So you're walking up, you're being very direct and complimentary. And one of the key things I think that you could argue is lacking with just doing high volume of approaches where they're faster conversations is potentially the investment side of it from her. So the prescribed London day game model is you go up, you're opening direct, you're making the conversation teasy and playful about her, you're waiting to the hook point, which is when she crosses her legs, or there's a shift in the energy and she's clearly attracted to you and wants to get to know you better, and then you're dialing down the energy and having a kind of a normal back and forth conversation, which is the investment phase, and then you're closing. What's happening in these conversations is because they're quite fast, the attraction's there and it's quite high energy, but sometimes that kind of second phase of the conversation is missing, which is no bad thing. It's all about experimentation with this stuff. And I think one of the key things guys fuck up on is they turn into kind of robots where they're thinking, I must stick to the model at all costs, I must do this. And really what we're trying to do here is develop high levels of social and emotional intelligence and almost improv skills. So one thing from kind of missing that investment phase of the conversation that I do, and you'll see me do frequently on these kind of shorter approaches, is forcing investment. And the way to do that is you get to the end of the conversation, you ask for the digits, or you're going for an instant date, well, in this case, asking for the digits, the number, and you are then asking her, what's one thing you'd like to know about me? And the reason we do this is it forces her to think of something she wants to know about you. Sometimes you're going to do this in conversation and it's a litmus test for how interested the girl is in you. And they're just going to kind of go, you're going to go, well, what's one thing you'd like to know about me before we part ways? And she's going to go, well, I don't know really. And what you're looking at, actions speak louder than words, right? How she's saying something is way more important than what she's saying. So you can just tell by her tone that she's just not particularly interested, right? So that could be a sign that you need to carry on the conversation a bit more, or she's just not very interested, right? She could just be a low interest girl, in which case you can just make that decision to either stay in the conversation or walk away. In this case, I ask her the question, what would you like to know about me? And she's kind of like actually thinking, okay. And she comes up with something, you know, she wants to know about me. And that's great. It doesn't matter what she actually asks you. Often what happens is the girl will ask you something really boring, like where are you from or what do you do for work? It's always like a fairly prescribed list of questions. She never really I don't think in the thousands of approaches I've ever done when I've kind of forced investment asking this question, I've ever had a particularly, maybe there's been one or two interesting questions asked, but generally speaking, they're pretty bland and obvious questions. It's a great way of just, I really recommend guys put this in at the end of the conversation. If you feel the conversation has been very short or you just feel that she hasn't invested enough, because it's not about how, the old school advice with this stuff, the London day game model, you know, your Nick Krauses, your Tom Toreros, they would argue it's not about how attracted the girl is in the moment to you. It's about how invested she is, how much work has she done in the conversation. So that's something you'll notice I do. The other thing you'll notice I do as well is I screen a lot by age. I'm dating by age. I'm deliberately targeting women who are between the ages of 18 to 23. The reason for this is, in an evolutionary sense, women of this age bracket tend to be up for more no strings attached fun. They're in their kind of what you'd call party years, whereas women in their later years, 27 upwards, they tend to be looking for something more serious. This is not a hard and fast rule. Obviously, if a girl has just broken up from a long-term relationship, she's on the rebound, she could be 35 and she's just looking to get laid, right? Have some quick fun with you on a one-night stand. But generally speaking, if you want, like me, you travel a lot and you just want no strings attached fun, you're not looking for something serious, you're way better off dating younger women. Not only are they in their prime in terms of kind of their age and fertility and everything, right? You could argue women, in my view, peak on a physical and physiological level between the ages of 18 to 22. So not only are they at their peak and they're most attractive, but they're also in that stage of life where they're having fun, experimenting, they're not looking for anything serious. So for me, it's like I'm not going to go on a date with a girl of that age. I am really looking for girls who are younger. I prefer dating young women. I'm 37. You absolutely can date younger women as a guy my age. I mean, Troy, who I travel a lot with, obviously coming up to the big 50, he's a great example of a guy who is dating, women between the ages of 18 to 22, and he's almost 50, right? So this idea that you're ruled out by your age as a man is total bullshit. It's Anglosphere, wokosphere, prescribed kind of shaming that is put on men, but it's not the reality. And, I'm a bit younger than Troy, but I can say as a 37-year-old guy, you absolutely can date younger women. So I'm deliberately targeting women of that age. The way to do that is obviously in the front screening part of the process, put that into the conversations initially to figure out how old she is. And then you can rule them in and out depending on kind of, your preferences. So the halo effect is you rolling up and you're really presenting your best self. You've got strong eye contact, strong body language, open, dominant body language, smizing with your eyes, playful. It's absolutely within your control to produce this part of the conversation in a strong, calibrated way. And the benefit of doing this is if you can, replicate this every time, it buys you so much time. So even if your conversation skills aren't very good or you're running out of things to say, the halo effect works so positively and so forcefully that if your approach is amazing at the beginning, women will just kind of stand and listen to you and give you leeway, even if you're kind of running out of things to say later, right? So on this particular approach, I smashed the halo effect in the right direction. It was a lot of conviction in what I was doing. I was walking straight up. It was strong, conviction, powerful. She bought into what I was saying straight away. So that's one thing to mention. And the other thing to mention is just the basic conversational threading that we teach is really active listening, pivoting on what she says, making the conversation about her, teasing, making assumptions, make it playful, but directing this. I might be speaking 80% of the time for the first few minutes, but the subject of the conversation is 80% on her. Women are very solipsistic, they're the center of their own universes. They feel very good when they're talking about themselves or when the conversation's talking about her because it's relevant to her. So that was the other thing. And obviously the subtext of what we're doing is very playful as well. I'm not taking it too seriously. A lot of guys with this stuff, they take it so seriously. It's called game for a reason. It's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be playful. Women are like kids, they're like puppies, you know, they like to have fun. They don't want very serious, logical male-to-male communication. It's totally wrong. They want playful, fun interactions, right? So you have to be going in with that playful, je ne sais quoi, zero fucks given vibe of just self-amusing and having fun. If you'd like to learn how to do this, then get in touch, send us an email, info@jamestusk.com. And this is what we specialize in doing, traveling the world. We have done for a decade. This is what we live and breathe. So we look forward to hearing from you and passing on the nuggets of wisdom that we have.